All right.
Well, Frankie, it was funny, man. I don't think a lot of people knew coming in this week the history you had with the venue. You know, not only that it was just New Jersey, but this is like something really special to you. Do you remember the very first time you went to Boardwalk Hall?
Yeah, probably freshman year I went and watched my teammates wrestle in states. So, you know, like I said, the state tournament's been here, I think, since the 90s. So, you know, it's pretty storied for me.
Yeah, and you saw some great boxing matches there as well?
Yeah, I seen Gaddy fight here. You know, I've seen, numerous wrestling matches. And, I actually fought here in a smaller arena, never the big arena. So
I was going to ask you, I mean, your last fight before you got to the UFC was here against Jim Miller, right?
Yep, yeah.
What do you remember about that night? I mean, obviously another legend of the sport like you, and you guys fought on the regional stage.
It was a very competitive fight. What I remember, I got a piece of my cauliflower kicked off my head, actually. he head kicked me. I blocked, I don't know if it's toenail or just pinched off my head, went flying. And, it looked like I lost a tooth, but it was a piece of my ear.
That's crazy. At that time, I mean, did you have any, visions or dreams or thoughts that you would be, where you are now, the legend that you are and everything that you've accomplished?
I mean, I didn't know I'd be where I'm at today, but I definitely had my sights set on the UFC at the time.
Nice. Jim's fighting this week. I mean, have you run into him at all? Have you guys,
we trained in the past, numerous times. He came down and helped Eddie train a couple times recently. So, we still cross paths pretty frequently.
So what does it feel like to you? I mean, here you are, all these years later, 11, 12 years later, and you guys are still at it and at the top of the sport. I mean, what does that feel like? Do you guys share kind of a little bond?
Absolutely, I think so. It just shows, the Jersey, the blue-collar roots we have. We're hard-nosed and tough guys.
So you think, this is going to be a special night? All the special fights that you've had in your life, man, all the moments you had, will this be one of them for you?
Absolutely. How can it not be? I've been wanting to compete, at the main arena in Boardwalk Hall ever since I was a kid, and finally at 36 years old I could do it.
Frankie, obviously you fought Cub Swanson before. I'm just wondering, in your estimation, how has he grown since that first match in 2014?
He's got more experience. With experience comes, just certain knowledge that you can't get any other way than just, being in there and doing it. And, he's definitely a veteran. I'm a veteran. So, it's going to be two crafty guys going after it.
Now, given the knockout to Ortega, and there was a lot of criticism on how quickly you're coming back, when you did, go away from no contact in the gym, was there any trepidation on those first few blows?
No, I felt fine, honestly. Of course, no one's going to believe me anything I say, so it don't matter, really, No one's going to believe me that I felt fine in the hotel room that night, but I know how I felt.
Now, as far as not having fought in New Jersey in so long, it seems crazy that, you've been a champion and you've been away from your own backyard. Just tell us what it's like to finally be back home fighting here.
It's great, man. I know my family, my friends have been looking for this for a long time. I did fight in the Garden, which is, fairly close, but, something special about being, in my state.
Thanks.
What still drives you at this point, Frankie? I mean, are there goals left to check off? Is it a little bit more money to put in the bank to take care of the family? I mean, is it what still drives you at this point?
All the above, definitely money never hurts. I still have my sights set on a title. I'm not really gonna lose that yet, but I'm still having fun, man. I get up and go to the gym. I look forward to it. I really don't, say shit. I gotta go to the gym today. I look forward to it. I'm gonna take a week off after this, and I'm gonna get back in the gym. I'm gonna help my teammates. I'm gonna help Marlon get ready for his fight. I'm gonna be in there because this is what I do. This is my life.
Was that kind of the key for you? As long as you enjoy it, you're going to keep doing it?
Yeah, that's always been my thing. As long as my body it holds up, I'm competitive, and I'm having fun. And so far, all those three things are still holding up.
Were you a Gotti fan?
Oh, absolutely. How could you not be, man? That dude was all heart and soul. And I know he's a Canadian, but, he repped Jersey to the fullest.
Yeah. Do you remember what fights you saw here?
I believe it was against the Argentinian guy, Baltimore or something. I can't say it wrong.
Yeah, Carlos Baltimore, yeah.
Oh,
okay, cool. You weren't here for the Mickey Ward fight, were you?
No, I wish I was there for that. No.
So a quick turnaround. Did you need to talk to coaches at all into this fight, or is this all just how you felt?
I mean, they were with me right away. Mark, he's like, listen, I'm down if you're down. Mm-hmm. And if he said he wasn't down, I probably still would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
But I did listen to them. I listened to my family, my manager, my teammates. I definitely. I take value in their opinion, so I'm glad they have my back.
Okay. You have a couple other teammates fighting on this card. Do you prefer fighting with a lot of teammates, or do you rather have all of your coaching staff's attention on you?
It's good to have my other teammates on the card. That kind of takes Mark out my ear a little bit sometimes because he can be a little in your ear, which is a good thing. But it's also just I'm not a limelight guy. I've never been. So it's kind of good to share with my teammates.
Okay. Any of Cub's fights since your loss, or since his loss to you, do you think he might have learn more specifically for you?
I'm sure he did a little bit, but it's no two fights are the same.
Yeah.
you know, and I mean, that was a while ago. So, you know, I think I'm a different guy. He's a different guy. So I think this will be a totally different fight.
Do you remember your very first pro MMA fight? Was it some basement in New York or something?
Yeah, it's not on my record, but I consider it because I broke my orbital bone in that fight. You know, so I'm counting that, and that makes this my 30th fight. You know, so yeah, it was in the Bronx. It was I believe 2005, summer 2005.
Who was it against?
Eric Uresk. Yeah.
How many people were there?
It was packed. There was probably about 100 people, maybe 50, 100 people in a small gym, and no air conditioning. It was hot as hell.
Oh,
No ambulance. We did no weigh-in, and we did it was one 15-minute round. It lasted 3 minutes, but we were just gonna go 15 minutes straight. No rules. I actually headbutt the guy. I headbutt him. That's not how I broke my orbital. I ate a knee early on. So.
We've seen guys like Bisping and Cerrone suffer from coming back too quickly into the cage. Have you learned anything from guys like that and the losses they've taken?
I guess not. I mean, I'm here, man. You know, I'm not saying I'm built differently or anything. I just, you know, I know how I came back. I know how I felt after the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Physically, I mean, I know you've brushed off all the questions that people asking you why you're coming back, but you had to deal with some personal stuff as well on the way, right? I mean, was there any thought then that this is too much, man?
You know, it was tough. It was tough, but this is who I am, you know. I mean, if I was a plumber or a cop or a fireman, you know, I'd still have to go to work, right? So this is my job, so I chose to do.
Do you feel strongly about avenging that loss to Ortega, or are you thinking more just immediately get in and try to get the belt after this fight?
You know, I would love to, you know, somehow cross past Ortega again, but you know, I'm not one of those guys that are just, you know, gunning for him right away. You know, I felt I was doing really well in that fight before he caught me, and I think I still do think I match up well with him. So if we cross paths on my way to there, then you know that'd be nice.
How big of an influence did your dad have on your career and your life?
You know, it's your dad, man. You know,
Yeah.
he's a pretty hard-nosed guy himself, and you know, rough around the edges, and I think that's kind of how I am.
What do you think about Edson's shot against Kevin Lee?
And Edson's an animal, you know. He's I would call him a human weapon. I mean, he has so many tools, and he's so dangerous. He can end the fight, you know, in any second. So, you know, I know a lot of people are saying they're looking at his last fight against Khabib and thinking, you know, this guy's gonna be able to do that, but not many people are like Khabib, you know. So I think, you know, Kevin's gonna have his hands full.
You know, you mentioned obviously there's been lots of time passed since you fought Cub, and that every fight's a little different. But do you go back and watch that fight? And if so, how many times? And what did you take from your last matchup that maybe you can apply to this one?
I've watched bits and pieces of it. You know, I'm not really a big film guy, never been. So my coaches watch, and I let them tell me what to do. You know, and he makes sure he sits me down and shows me certain areas where, okay, this is where you did something good, this is where he did something good. So, you know, we go over that stuff, but I'm not really a big film guy.
Cool. Thanks, Frankie.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thanks, Frankie.
All right.